Hi everybody, AngelArts here, and welcome to Let's Do a Channel Update, because it's been ages since I've done one of these. I've missed talking to all of you face-to-face directly for once. I know the last year has been really busy, as you can imagine, especially with me becoming a dad within the last 9 months. So my recording schedule has had to be a little adjusted, but hopefully regardless of that, my goal was to try to maintain putting out one video every single day, and I think I've managed to do that, mostly due to backlogging a whole bunch of things during extra long play sessions, and then being away from recording anything for maybe even weeks at a time. But I'm happy and appreciative for those of you guys who have been supporting me through all this time. So I thought I would take some time, especially because of the 4th of July weekend. So for those of you who are watching when this video drops, happy 4th of July for those of you who observe or celebrate the 4th of July. And for those of you who don't celebrate the 4th of July, the American 4th of July, happy weekend. Great to see you. So pretty much this update is going to talk about a lot of things. It's just not just going to be talking about video games and stuff. It's also going to be talking about some stuff that's going on with my life and with my family and with my job. In addition to what are some of the things that are upcoming that I am planning on Let's Playing as well. So, and just in general future things for the channel. So hopefully there's something in here for you, something in here that you might find interesting. So I appreciate you sticking around. So again, with this being the 4th of July weekend, that also means that we are nearing the midst of my wedding anniversary with my husband, Colin. Yes, we will have been married for 5 years. That time really flies. I can't believe it's been that long, and it happened. We got married just a week, maybe even not even a week after they legalized gay marriage all federally from the Supreme Court all across the country, which was a really huge and monumental time, and I thought it was really awesome and really symbolic that that historic moment happened right before we got married. So it's really exciting to be able to celebrate 5 fun-filled, wonderful years with my husband. Also, during this recording, we are still in the midst of the pandemic that is known as COVID. So I hope that all of you watching are still staying safe. I hope you are all still staying smart. I hope that you all are still staying considerate and patient. Considerate especially for your fellow man. Considerate for people that you don't even know. Considerate for your neighbors and those neighbors' neighbors and those neighbors' neighbors' neighbors. I understand that it's really tough. Trust me, I'm a very extroverted person, so I have voiced how difficult someone like myself, who as an extroverted person, my source of energy, where I get my energy, is from other people, and Zoom, while it is helpful, can only do so much to that. So I understand that it can be really tough and it can be really inconvenient for people, especially going out, wearing masks and all that good stuff. But hopefully everybody who's watching understands that that inconvenience pales in comparison to something that could be really problematic to other people, maybe even lethal, unfortunately. So hopefully all of you guys are, again, staying home as much as possible and doing everything that you can to be considerate and helpful to your fellow neighbor. Love yourselves and love each other. I mean, that pretty much just says it all. Just take care of yourselves, love yourselves, and also take care of each other, love each other. As for the rest of my family, Brody is doing very well. He is 9 months now, which is crazy. He has gotten to the point where he's not quite walking yet, but he can pull himself up to a stand. And it was really kind of cute, adorable at the beginning because he figured out how to pull himself up to a standing position, and then he would start crying. The poor thing would start crying because he couldn't figure out how to get back down. But I mean, that only lasted for a few days. He finally was able to figure out how to let himself back down. But eventually he's gonna be walking around, which is exciting and horrifying at the same time. And believe it or not, we are also in the process of trying to get a sibling for Brody as well. So yes, we are trying to go for baby number 2 again through surrogacy. That whole process, that whole journey, I'm sure is going to be just as stressful as it was the first time, but well worth it. I'm sure that I will continue posting on my daddy vlog about that progress. We're still in the very, very early stages of it. Right now, we're just talking to a bunch of agencies and trying to begin the process of this whole journey. So for those of you who are interested in that, or if you are curious about our first journey in order to get our first son, which took about 3+ some years, I'll have a link somewhere, if not on the screen somewhere, then in the description below. Because I think that there's a lot of stuff in there that is important for people to be aware of, because I think this is something that not everybody has had much exposure to, and hopefully my journey and experiences can help people, educate people, or even if you are thinking about going through this process in some form or fashion, it might also help as a resource and answer some questions for you. So more updates on that as the year progresses. Hopefully it'll take a year, hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. The other big life thing that's going on with me is that we are moving, like physically moving to a new townhouse apartment, mostly because since our family is growing and my son is starting to move around, we need a bigger place. It's not going to be that much bigger, but it has an extra room, which is going to be very helpful. So the next time you see me doing one of these one-on-one on camera videos, I'll probably be in a new space, and that's really exciting. The other life thing that's happening with me work-wise, for those of you who didn't know, by trade, by profession, no, YouTube is definitely not my job by any stretch of the imagination. I don't monetize any of my videos, so I certainly don't get any money for this, because it's purely a passion project for me. I work as a software engineer at Storyblocks, which is a subscription-based company where you subscribe to our website and you get access to a full ginormous library of stock media, stock videos, stock audio, stock images, which I definitely have taken advantage of a lot of our stock media in my videos on YouTube. So for those of you who are looking for a very cost-effective, more affordable way of getting stock media, especially if you're into creative content, if you're on YouTube or anything of that matter, definitely check us out. But anyway, the biggest news that kind of dropped last week, I only just found this out, most of the company only just found out, is that Storyblocks got acquired by a private equity firm, Great Hill Partners. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on. The last thing I wanted to talk about are the actual content on my channel, the gaming content on my channel. So as of this recording, there are a bunch of projects that are still live and ongoing. For example, my Final Fantasy VII Remake Let's Play, which is a huge nostalgia journey. A beautiful game. I absolutely loved it. So for those of you who are a big fan of that game, or just Final Fantasies, or JRPGs in general, highly recommend that you check that out. I also am starting to wrap up Greedfall, which is a Dragon Age-esque, BioWare-esque like game that was produced by a small company called Spiders that dropped last year. So I think I'm nearing the end game of that LP. So that's also ongoing. There's my co-op Let's Play of Borderlands 3 as well, where I am teaming up with XCI or Shay, who is another fellow YouTuber friend of mine, Logan or LuckyJack20, another YouTuber friend of mine, and Alex, who is a personal, in-person friend of mine. We used to work together. So we're still continuing on strong with Borderlands 3, which is a huge game. But if you're into like just some really casual, no fuss Let's Play where just 4 friends just kind of chill and shoot stuff, that might be your cup of tea. And then the last thing that is currently ongoing right now is my Let's Play of Camp Buddy, which is a visual novel yaoi, believe it or not. So obviously a lot of content in that has been edited and censored for consumption, and many of the videos are gated just to people of 18 years of age or older. So trying to keep everything as legit as possible. But despite some of the racier content, I think that there's a lot of value in the story and a lot of value in the characters, which is what I really am playing the game for, which I think is really, which are the parts of the game that I am like genuinely interested in and having so much fun. So I had finished beating that game, at least one of the arcs, a few weeks ago, and so episodes of that are still coming out. So if you enjoy a good romance visual novel with a bunch of very good-looking gay boys, that might be in the cards for you. So let's talk about things that are coming up in my channel, the future of content on my channel. So first of all, as many of you might have known, if you are a tabletop fan on my channel, I just wrapped up the Harry Potter tabletop campaign, also known as the Wizarding World Circle of Fate campaign, and had gone through an entire audition process for the final season of my Dragon Age tabletop campaign, Dragon Age Season 3, also known as Dragon Age Ascension. The whole process of auditioning people and selecting the final roster for that campaign has been super fun and super enjoyable. There'll be links for that, I'm sure, at minimum in the description below if you wanted to check that out. But we are about to begin the final season of Dragon Age Season 3, which are sequels to my previous 2 tabletop campaigns. We are going to be releasing episodes of Dragon Age Season 3 starting next week as of the posting of this video. Actually, we also dropped the reunion session, one-shot session, which stars the players and characters from the previous 2 seasons as sort of like a kickoff for Dragon Age Season 3. So you can already check that out now. So for those of you who are big into tabletop gaming or have been following the Dragon Age campaigns, or just enjoy the Dragon Age franchise in general, highly recommend that you check it out. It should be a lot of fun. We have a great cast of players, and we're going to continue premiering the actual sessions, the different parts, every other week. So I feel like if you're really into it, if you're able to get involved and participate in the premieres, it's super fun because, you know, people get to interact in the chats and they get to, you know, talk about what's going on and, you know, share theories and thoughts and other, you know, random comments. So that's always a fun time if you're able to make any of the premieres for the Dragon Age Season 3 campaign. As far as upcoming Let's Plays are concerned, so once at least one of my current LPs wraps up, I have started recording for another nostalgic game, a nostalgic game remake. I love that they're making these. So many games are being remade nowadays. The Trials of Mana. So The Trials of Mana is a sequel to The Secret of Mana. It's a JRPG franchise series. The Secret of Mana originally was for the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom. Absolutely loved it. Great story, great characters. The original even had beautiful graphics too for its time. And the sequel was never... The sequels to Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana, I don't think was ever formally released to North America until very recently, when they remade it and remastered it. So that's exciting. I'm just started, and it is gorgeous and beautiful, and it just takes me back in oh so ooey gooey nostalginess. So for those of you who enjoy JRPGs or had played any of the Secret Mana games in the past, hopefully that is something that you can look forward to. Another game that I am looking into Let's Playing is a game that kind of was off my radar until very recently, until someone brought it up and pointed it out to me, called The Waylanders. The Waylanders is currently being advertised as another BioWare Dragon Age inspired game. It seems to share a lot of aspects to the Dragon Age series. It's got a really interesting art style. The premise, I don't want to spoil anything too much, but the premise seems really unique and really fascinating and really interesting. Obviously, there's going to be romances, so most likely, if I do get a chance to Let's Play that game, it will be a gay Let's Play of the Waylanders. So, yeah, if you are a fan of BioWare, if you're a fan of Dragon Age, hopefully, again, the Waylanders Let's Play is something that would be right up your alley. And then continuing on with even more RPGs, I think one of the biggest, most anticipated RPGs of 2020 that is coming along is Cyberpunk 2077. This is something that I know a lot of people are excited about, and it's something I've been very intrigued by, and there seems to be a lot of depth to this game, and I'm super excited to check out and find out what all the fuss is about. It's been delayed a few times, and for me, I think that's a good sign. I actually like it when companies delay games, because to me it means that they're trying to polish things up and they don't want to release something unless they are as confident as possible that it is a solid state to release. As a computer engineer, I definitely appreciate that. So while I know it's very annoying to fans who are anticipating this game, there are always tons of other games I could be playing in the meantime. I never ever get upset when a game is delayed, because there's always some other game that, you know, I can be playing with in the interim. And even then, even with the delay, there are tons of games, trust me, on my queue that I just can't get to. I just won't be able to get to because there's just too many games that I want to play with. So if you're into sci-fi RPGs, Cyberpunk 2077, that Let's Play, hopefully again, is something to look forward to. Another game that I have been eyeing for a while that actually is not an RPG, not in the strictest sense of the word RPG, is Marvel's Avengers. So I have been a very big recent fan of the Marvel's universe, in particular because of the movies. Prior to the Marvel movies, I have pretty much always been a DC Comics fan, although I do love the X-Men. So that was probably the only Marvel's universe thing that I thoroughly enjoyed. Back in the day, I also did like Spider-Man 2 as well. But Marvel has definitely made quite an impact, and I'm enjoying that fan base a lot. And the Marvel's Avengers just seems like a really fun game. Really fun game. You get to play as different characters in Avengers, which I think is really awesome. It's really appealing. I think that's the most fun aspect of this game that I'm going to be most interested in, is being able to go through the campaign or the story just switching up between different Avengers. I am absolutely excited. I've always had a soft spot for Captain America / Chris Evans, and how amazing is it that when I saw the trailer for Marvel vs. Avengers, I swear that Steve Rogers in Marvel's Avengers looks like the spitting image of Alistair from Dragon Age. I'm like, no, I'm sold. Like, as soon as Captain America looked like Alistair, I'm like, okay, I'm playing the snot of that game, and I am going to play Captain America as much as I can, because huge Captain America fan. So that's something that I think will be really fun, and a good change of pace and departure from games that I normally Let's Play on my channel. And then last but not least, this particular game doesn't have a release date yet. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be released this year. Hopefully it'll be released in 2021. I'm not sure. But it is Fallout Miami. Now, this is not an official Bethesda Games, it's not an official Bethesda Games Fallout. It is a fan-made mod of Fallout 4 that they basically made into a standalone game, which again, as the name implies, takes place in Miami. There's a lot of these types of Fallout projects of fans creating full modded game campaign storylines of Fallout 4, but this is the one that I have particularly felt has the most promise. This is the one that I am particularly most excited and interested for, mostly because Fallout 76 was very much not the type of Fallout game that I was interested in by any stretch of the imagination. And if you guys enjoy Fallout 76, that's great. Is not a good fit for me. And I hope that Bethesda will be able to continue making other games that are more games that that is a good fit for me, hopefully. But in the meantime, I think Fallout Miami would be a great thing for me to enjoy in the interim, to get my Fallout fix, since 76 didn't quite do it. So if you are interested in looking up information for Fallout Miami, I'll try to put links at the bottom. The community has been very, very awesome. They've been very good at communicating and giving updates on their progress. I just sat in on one of their live streams where the developers are answering people's questions about the game. It's really cool. It's clearly the people who are involved give it a lot of love. Clearly they are fans themselves, who want to share something really special to this fan base, for the people who enjoyed this franchise. So that's going to be, I think that'll be a really fun romp when I finally get my hands on it. And I guess the last thing I should mention is I noticed the other day that I'm starting to, not quite there, but I'm starting to hit another milestone on my channel, almost 12,000 subscribers. And so I'm trying to think of something I could do to celebrate, something on my channel that I could do to celebrate the 12,000 subscribers milestone. So I'm very interested if any of you guys watching have any ideas or any suggestions. There are a number of things that I have done in the past, but I was trying to see if they could get a fresh new idea that I could do for this next milestone, because that'll be really cool and really fun. So yeah, drop in your comments, whatever suggestions you have, and we'll see if there's anything that we can make happen. So I guess that's it for the update. Thank you very much for those of you who sat through the whole thing. As I said, I hope you got something out of there. I hope that there was at least one thing that I talked about that got you very excited. So take care, everybody, and until next time, love yourselves, love each other.